Here we find a Reaver, safely perched high above with the trees and the leaves and such. He hides here, safe from explosions, until he is ready to strike!
Oh, yes.
Okie dokie, so the first thing is Pounce. Pounce is the default ability that you get by using right mouse button. Pounce has an aim assist on it, so you kind of have to aim a little up higher usually and in front of the enemies in the location they're going to be going and moving in, so the aim assist can kind of help you out with that. Otherwise, you know, you're going to have a lot of problems with it and it's going to be like thingy you the whole time, so don't try and go along with it. If it really does aggravate you, you can always get Savage Pounce. Savage Pounce is the same thing, but without the aim assist. So Pounce. Pounce is a good thing to use when you're trying to interrupt people. It has a good decent amount of damage where you can hit initially on the Pounce, and then the rest of the damage is done by getting intimate with their face and just kind of like slapping it about. And that damage is done and can be interrupted, and it can also be cancelled by you. So you don't have to stand there for the full damage if you're gonna, you know, get ripped apart. You can cancel it, get out of the way. So here, what you can do with Pounce is you can throw your AoEs or enemy AoEs or anything that's gonna like do damage. You can pounce them into it and aggravate them to have to be stuck in both of the things, and you'll just tear them apart. Whenever you can with Pounce, you want to try and pounce them into places that are more secluded and get kind of a line of sight break on it so that people can't shoot as well, because that's going to be to your advantage. Because whenever you can put like an object like this tree and this bush in front of it, it makes it so much harder for their friends to find where they are and where they're getting ripped apart. And that could be the difference between you making a good Pounce and a bad Pounce where you're just going to get ripped apart instantaneously. So with Pounce, you can be interrupted on the jumping stage, you can be interrupted at the end stage, a lot of the abilities will stop you, you know, you can be interrupted in the air, everything. So these are things you need to be remember of. These are things you need to keep in your mind as you Pounce. You want to be secretive, you want to be like a super secret pouncy lion, ferocious vampire beast, and you don't want to get into enemy AoEs like that. They will rip you apart. Pounce is really good for hit attacks where you can hit all of a sudden and come out of nowhere, do a bunch of damage, hit your other abilities like Evasion, and you can run away. You can also hold people down, like I'm holding this guy down. I'm not going to kill him, but I'm going to keep him from doing any of his damage before his abilities are getting out. My friends can finish off the other people so that they're not an issue. So he's taken completely out of the thing by me disabling him with Pounce. Can do with Pounce is you can try and go further away or higher up to try and land a Pounce, but it's really risky, and a lot of the more advanced players can obviously tell what you're doing and they'll shoot down midair. It's not a really good idea, especially with this like aim assisted Pounce. It gets really finicky and it like really fits you, especially if multiple targets are there. It'll kind of try and go towards one target and then another target, and it'll sort of land in the middle of them and it won't be helpful at all. What you can do with Pounce is you can combo with people like the Sentinel who pick them up, and you can take him out of the Sentinel's hands in midair. Stuff like that, using that coordination with your team, is going to make the difference between being successful with Pounce and sucking with it. What you don't want to do with Pounce is pounce someone in front of his teammates, because there's a brief moment before you can disconnect, and also when you do disconnect there's a brief moment before you can actually move, and people are going to rip you a new hole if you do that in front of them. And what you want to do in Imagine Pounce, the way it works is you want to imagine like throwing a little baseball or something underhand where it goes up slowly and comes down softly. That's how Pounce works. So Savage Pounce is pretty much the same as Pounce, except instead of going up and down, it goes more like a straight line, like hitting a home run. You have to understand that like just a straight line, just slightly up, and that's Savage Pounce. But the awesome thing about Savage Pounce is that that distance to it gives you an ability to go so far. You can jump like to the moon, and you can just light people up, but they don't even know you're there. You know, I wouldn't recommend doing this, but, you know, it's really risky and stupid, and, you know, I'm just me showing off, but it's kind of fun to do. It reminds me of, like, Left 4 Dead 2 stuff and whatnot. But, you know, it's really difficult to land, and if you miss, you just kind of get torn apart because you stand there, obviously. And sometimes it's a little finicky, and it doesn't even work anyway, so it's, you know, whatever. One of the cool things about Savage Pounce is that since it lets you attack from so far away, you can be a lot more secretive and stealthy in your attacks. But you know, the further you are away, it's going to be more and more difficult for you to use Savage Pounce. You're going to need a lot more skill every step you're further away from the enemy. You're going to need better timing, everything. It's going to be a lot more difficult than landing up close and personal pounce. But you can do it from so many different places, it becomes much more helpful mechanically. And since you can pounce so far away in a straight line, it's really good at knocking people off buildings where they can't really get help from their teammates, where they're out of line of sight, and you just rip them apart. Savage Pounce, just like Pounce, is vulnerable to different things where it can be interrupted. It's the same thing, so you know you're gonna have to face the same problems about being interrupted and screwed over. So like here, I pounce the guy, and then I don't get my claws in because the Prophet stunned me and I couldn't do anything. Savage Pounce can be quite effective in CQB one-on-one scenarios where you're going through the bushes like some sort of sexually deprived velociraptor, and you can just hit people and knock them out, and you can just grind on their face all night long. And it's really great with that, you know, but you just really have to worry about, you know, pouncing on somebody up close and personal. They throw down an AoE, or the archer has a habit of throwing down his trap, and it'll blow up and knock you off. And you know, you don't want that to happen, so you have to be careful with that. You want to like bait out any knives that are coming at your face. You can, you know, have those hit you and then pounce, so you don't pounce and then they hit you and then it breaks off your pounce. You don't want to be like this, like some crazed up toddler dragging your balls across the floor, because the archer can hear you. Like the archer hear me, he came to my, but you know, I pounced him in his face and I shut him down. You know, if you can get closer and pounce them, that's better, because they don't have as much time. They don't really have like time to throw this or whatever at your face, so that's much better. You want to be sneaky. You want to just get your balls to the floor at the last second so that nobody knows you're there. You can be totally tactical and completely sneaky, because that's the most important part of this. You know, if you're not anything else, just be tactical, because you can be tactically bad, and if you're tactically bad enough, you can escape and nobody will even know that you messed up. Alright, so the leap is a little bit similar to the pounces, where it basically turns you into Santa's little helper, where you just run around like a cooked-out greyhound, and it's got a really low cooldown. It's really helpful for you to move around. You can, you know, prance about with it, and you can use it to escape a lot. You can hit people. It stuns you, it stuns them, and it's really good at just like slapping people in the face real quickly. In all honesty, I'm not really a huge fan of leap hack. It's like you have to give up so much. You can't like pin down people. The stun doesn't really help. You know, it stuns you and stuns them, so it doesn't work, you know, in one-on-one scenarios. All it really is like a finishing move to like smack people in the face. That's about it. You know, move around a bit. You know, I like to use it to move around mostly. That's just mostly what I use it for at all, because mostly it's just mostly moving, because it sucks. And you know, I don't really like it. And, you know, you have to give up so much damage that the other skills have, that, you know, so much like mechanical use, that I really just don't like leap back that much. But you know, what I can see it being successful using it as is a very team-oriented game where you have like people over microphones and people, you know, who actually know what they're doing, because, you know, then it'll be helpful. But I don't really see it working in like normal scenario where people, you know, don't work together. They wander off different directions. They're like, I like taffy. You know, those people, they're not gonna, you know, work with leap attack. You know, what you need to do with leap if you're trying to, you know, be successful with it with a team, is you can try and like throw AoEs out, different things like that, that'll like help to damage people, and your teammates can be over there punching and smacking people, and you can leap attack, and you'll be stunned, they'll be stunned, and they'll be stunned for that brief second or so while your teammates are over there bashing their face in, and, you know, melting their legs with AoEs and everything else. So that'll make up for the amount of damage that you can no longer do. So say like I could throw my choking haze down, and then my enemies, my teammates would be in there bashing and bashing, and, you know, I don't really have anything else, so I just pounce with my leap attack, and it smacks them and holds them in place, and all that damage is getting done, and it can be, you know, kind of an interrupting helpful thing. But other than that, I don't really see a use for it. I think it just plainly sucks ass. No, you're gonna have to use the last ability in your row. You're not gonna be able to use it as an initiator. Okay, so this ability is called Sweeping Kick. Sweeping Kick, oh my god, I love it. It gives me Sweeping kick is like a 50%, 75%, somewhere around there, the amount of damage of savage pounce, and it's just instant trigger. You just walk up and just be like, woo, and kick up in the face, and you just like, and that's how you use sweeping kick. That's it. That's all it is. That's all it's got to do. You know, you can hit multiple people. You can just be like, and you can just shut down the whole team if they're stupid enough to stand in the way. What I like to do with it is like kind of use AoEs and stuff to group people up together or separate them so I can have the time to go over there and kick people in the face, because you know that's where I can interrupt them, because it's got that sweet interrupt, huge amount of damage. It's just great. I love sweeping kick. It's everything that I want in an attack. It's just lovely. I really love sweeping kick. You know, so here, I go in with my smoke, throw my smoke down, it blocks everybody else, I kick that guy in the face, and he's like, oh my god, I've been kicked in the face, and then, you know, I left. And I'm like, whoa, where'd he go? He's a ninja. Like, he's a kicking in the face ninja. So here, and then it comes back so quick, so I just go over there, and I kick him again. It's like, oh my god, the ninja's back, help! Help, guys, he's kicking me! So yeah, so then like I throw my smoke down here, and then I get in a third kick. Bam! People don't know what to do. They don't expect the kick. Kick is great. It's just great. I don't know how you could not like the kick. I mean, it's the only thing is, like, you know, pounce would have more team value maybe because it stuns them for longer, but I don't know, you could stun them all with Savage Pounce. I think mechanically it would work better in more scenarios. So choking haze is the of the vampire world. It is great at disrupting everybody. It makes so much like confusion happen on the field because everyone's like, oh my god, don't let it touch me. Don't let that get on me. It runs away and everybody's like, oh my god, where's the vampires? And they're, you know, it's really great at chipping away at people's health. You just kind of throw it in there, kick people, stun people in the way, just beat the crap out of them. You know, it just grinds them down so that your friendlies can beat the crap out of them and one hit them. It's great. I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, it's really good. You throw it down, you can like pounce with it, and you can pounce them into their stuff, and then you can throw it, and then you can like pounce them into the fire. Their fire and their eggs, and they'll be like lit with fire and pounce kicks, slaps in the face, whatever. Oh my god, I love choking haze. It's just so great. You can just use it here to like, I used it to partition the area of the field apart so where nobody's like, yeah, I don't want that to touch me. It's gonna do 35 damage. Hell no. That alchemist, let him. And then look, he threw down his heal. I throw down my haze, and I'm like, what? Get some healing. And then like, you know, it's so great. I just love choking haze. It's just the thing alive. Okay, Shadow Bomb is another throwable, and what it does is it makes super secret spooky smoke spook stuff, and it blocks people's view, so you can throw it at their face, just like, and you know, that'll be like, hey, they're right there, look guys, look, right there, look, the blue little highlighted things, that's them, they're right there, look. Or, you know, you can throw it like physically like by them, so they're like, I can't see, is anything going on over there? Oh no, I can't. Oh, it's so hard to see through the smoke. And then you can be over there and be like, some spooky things going on over here, y'all. And you can be like kicking people and nobody even knows what's going on. They're like, oh my god, guys, help, help, help. And everyone's like, you aimbot hacker, and then they leave. So, you know, Shadow's really good at coordinating that and getting the teamwork going. So here I threw it. People get so confused. They're like, where did that Hunter Reaver go? You know, I'm over here smacking him, kick him, and beat the crap out of him, and then leave. Because, you know, I don't care anymore. You know, that lets me escape. Shadow is helpful to escape. And, you know, come back and just be like, shh. So here I initiate and they're like, oh my god, I can't see him. Where's the Reaver? He's spooky everywhere. Oh my god. And you know, it's got a really long cooldown, so it's got to be something that you know you dedicate yourself to. You can't just throw it around and, you know, just willy-nilly. You have to dedicate that. That's 20 seconds of dedication that you're gonna have to, you know, deal with because you screwed up. So You know, you can charge here behind the spooky secret smoke, and that can get your attention. And people will be like, "Oh my god," because you're just like, you just smack people out of nowhere. They're like, "Ah!" They're just like roll in the wrong direction, and they're just complete terror. You know, so it's really great. So it also is helpful in like hidden tactics, like where I just slap them and then run out with Shadow Step or whatever, and let my stuff cool down, get back down and back up, whatever, and then I come back in and I just in this closet, and then you know, that works really well. And then I can throw it down again because it could be extra spooky, so it'll prevent that alchemist from helping, and it blocks her, and she gets all pissed off. And this guy is so desperate, he's just swinging manually like piñata time. But today was not his birthday, it was my birthday, and he was not invited. Okay, so this is Shadow Step. It makes you like a super secret ninja monkey thing, and you can just be like, it's a poof, and you just gone. And they're like, oh my god, where did he go? Where did he go? Where did he go? And the old Shadow Step just was like, poof, and you landed. But this new one's like, poof, and you're like, because you can't stop. So I think actually this new Shadow Step can kind of be helpful in that you can actually initiate, I think, with it. Where you can just be like, poof, and then just show up and be like, kick someone in the face. But then, you know, the bad thing about that would be like you wouldn't have your Shadow Step to run away, so, you know, you'd have to dedicate. And but, you know, if there's somebody and they're really hurt, you know, you could just be like poof and slap them in the face. So it'd be really cool for that. But Shadow Step, it does take a brief second or so before you can use it. So I think you kind of like have to rub one out, you know, just like a genie lamp. You have to just like, you know, and so you have to wait for that. So you have to be careful and make sure that you hit that as soon as possible, and you're out of combat, and, you know, doing whatever you're doing, you're munching or whatnot, you know. Otherwise, you know, they're gonna in the face because you're just standing there. And what you can do is you can aim it straight up in the sky, and it'll go poof, and you'll fall back down, and you can. People think you're running away. You could also, like here, I used it to poof across the room so that people lost me, and all this confusion. It's very effective because they're like, where did he go? I don't know. I guess he ran away. I thought he ran away. Okay, I didn't. And then he's over there, kick. I didn't run away. And then people are like, oh my god. And then you can have a munching party with your friend. Share your bento. Next up is Evasion. It's the default ability that lets you evade stuff because it's called Evasion. And what it does is it makes you a blue smurf. It makes you immune to all the normal physical. It's like and thingies and arrows and stuff. But, you know, you're still vulnerable to like explosions and things that are like magical of nature. So you have to watch out for those. But, you know, a lot of the times that's just all ability stuff. And it is all ability stuff. So, you know, you don't really have to deal with that. You know, once people use up their abilities or you screw up or something, you could be like, Evasion! Like, goodbye, guys. I'm leaving. Okay. Can't do nothing about it. You know, so it's really good at doing stuff like that, getting in hidden tactics, and it's saving yourself. So like here, I run away. Somebody would have to hit me and waste their ability to, and rather than, you know, do a bunch of damage to these guys. So it saved me enough health so I can run in and pounce that guy later, and that made a huge difference in everybody, or, you know, wiping the team and nobody. The different thing about Evasion and, you know, the difference between the other ones is that Evasion is instant. You can just be like, click, and you can be like, I'm an invincible blue smurf, so you can even just stand there in the way. You can even like use it offensively and like block for people as a shield for physical, and that's cool too. And lastly, there's Haste. A lot of people don't like Haste. I kind of like Haste. I think it has some use. Haste can easily get shut down, however, with like ropes, different stuns and stuff. So, you know, that's what really sucks about Haste. So, you know, if you don't maneuver well, you are going to get your face pooped on. And what the bad thing about it is, the major bad thing is that you have to give up your escape to use Haste. But I think Haste works really well, especially with perks, or if you get any items that like special abilities that do more damage or faster movement, or, you know, on like there's a perk that on kill you do more damage, or you get below a certain health you do more damage. Those are all great to work with Haste because they add more onto top of Haste. So you can easily just tear everybody a new level, especially after you somebody. You just be like, and, you know, you hit people faster than, you know, a single mother on food stamps who hates her children. And So, so you know, it's really great. Like here, I could have got a quad. The bad thing about using haste is that there's so much movement going on, especially when you start to speed up, that it's hard to keep track of everything. Like I thought everybody was, and there was that guy alive, and I could have got a quad instead of a triple. But that's one thing that you're gonna really struggle with. I think is that once you start to speed up, you start to go into like super mode, and you can start lifting buses and getting dimes and stuff. And so it's really hard to control. But